Hello, friends. This is Chandrakant from Akulmac Technologies, and welcome to the Legal Matters. And friends, as you know, in this series, we discuss about the legal matters which concerns everyone. And the case which is on mind of every citizen of India, 1.4 billion people, is the Arnab Goswami case, and that has a wider effect the judgment of Arnab Goswami because it affects the liberty. And to discuss further, let me invite our expert from Ahmedabad, Mr. Jeet Bhatt.
Thank you very much, Chandrakant, for introducing me using such kind words. Yes, we are going to discuss a very important matter regarding personal liberty and the judgment of Supreme Court yesterday delivered in Arnab Goswami matter. I'm looking forward for this discussion.
So, Jeet is, for a brief introduction, because we have regular viewers, Jeet is a very senior lawyer practicing in Ahmedabad High Court, and he would like to basically give his opinion on this particular case. Uh, I don't want to repeat the case because I think everybody knows, even the kid, as we say in India, that even a kid knows about this incident where the Anand Goswami was arrested by armed policemen carrying AK-47 and whatnot, and even the riot police by almost like 60 to 70 people, cops went to arrest him, a single man, and then he was kept in jail for a couple of days. So, without wasting my layman language, let me ask this question from our expert, Jeet. What really transpired in this case and how this affects the liberty of every citizen of India?
Yes, Chandrakant. Personal liberty certainly is one of the basic tenets of our constitutional freedoms granted by our forefathers while drafting the Constitution. And as you are aware, 26th November was the Constitution Day, and we all celebrated this Constitution Day, the enactment of this wonderful document, which is a living document and gives rights, freedoms, liberties to all the citizens of this country. And certainly is one of the most respected documents around the world. Uh, Personal liberty absolutely is one of the most important facets because without liberty, a man's life is of no use. Because only under liberty can a individual grow and reach his optimum level. And therefore, if liberty is denied, then his entire life and everything which is important and dear to him is denied and deprived. So without liberty, there is in fact no life. And Supreme Court, in its yesterday's judgment, has certainly uh, given that liberty to the person who was taken by police and detained for around 7 days, and has delivered a landmark judgment which has a far-reaching effect. And we are going to discuss that and what the highlights of that judgment, if I may just point out. The Supreme Court says regarding human liberty and the role of the courts is that the human liberty is a precious constitutional value. It is also the duty of the court that criminal law does not become a weapon for selective harassment of citizens. The doors of the court cannot be closed to a citizen who is able to establish that there is some malafide or he is being harassed by the state and its machinery. Uh, it also says that in jail and under the police stations, human dignity has no protectors, and therefore the role of the court becomes extremely important. That may be the district court, high court, and also the Supreme Court. And the purpose for giving out this judgment, the Supreme Court mentions, is that in its own words, and I quote that we have done so in order to reiterate principles which must govern countless other faces whose voices should not go unheard. As you are aware, Arnab Goswami certainly is a resourceful person and has all the legal team ready by his side. But not every individual has such resources that they can approach to the topmost court saying that my liberty is denied. And therefore, this judgment laying down the principle, in fact, it reiterates all the principles of several other judgments which have been laid down till now by the Supreme Court, and says that this is the duty of the court to uphold personal liberty. And therefore, this judgment is extremely important with respect to personal liberty. I would also be talking about the facts and how all these, how this transpired, and why the Supreme Court has granted bail to Arnab Goswami. and it is, in fact, it is a very rare case because Supreme Court usually does not interfere when matters are pending before the High Court, and when a bail application is also filed by Arnab Goswami before the district, the appropriate forum in trial. But what happened and why the Supreme Court interfered, I would just like to point out the facts. Is that on 4th of November 2020, in the morning at around 7:45 a.m., as you said, 60, 70 police and armed uh, people reached his residence, and he was arrested in connection with an FIR which was registered in the year 2018, which was under section 306, which is abatement to suicide. And what had transpired therein, and at that point in time, is that on 2016 December, one of the companies of Arnab Goswami, that is AGR Outliers Media, had awarded a contract for civil and interior works to another company called Concord Design Private Limited, which was substantially owned by one Anvay Nayak, who is deceased, who later on committed suicide. And on 5th of May 2018, that is after completing the entire work of interior design, his allegation was that he was not paid some amount which was due to his company by three agencies which had deployed him to carry out this interior work, wherein one of the companies AGR Outliers of Mr. Arnab Goswami, who had not paid him 83 lakhs. On 5th of May, fed up because of the problems which created on due to non-payment and because of the pressure that he was in, he and his mother committed suicide in Alibag in their farmhouse. And because of which an FIR was registered, he had also written a suicide note wherein he had named these three people, namely Arnab Goswami, another Firoz Sheikh, who had not paid him 4 crores, and third, Mr. Nitesh Sarda of Smartworks, who had not paid him an amount of rupees 55 lakh. And due to this, he mentioned in the suicide note that he is compelled to commit suicide. So, pursuant to this FIR registered, investigation was carried out. The investigating team reached Arnab's office and also asked for all the documents which were provided by his company, wherein it came out that the company had paid the Anvay Nayak company an amount of rupees 5 crore 75 lakhs, but his claim of 80 lakhs was not settled. Substantial amount was already paid, but some amount was not paid, but that was a commercial dispute. And because of a commercial dispute, you have a remedy under law, which is you can file civil case for recovery, or you can also avail all legal remedies that are available under law. But the option of taking your own life and committing suicide is not available to anyone. And it was not such a compelling reason to take your own life because you were under pressure. And even if you've taken your life, that would not mean that that constitutes an offense against someone who has not paid you some amount. So ultimately the investigation officer reached to the conclusion that though uh, the person has taken his life, but this does not constitute an offense, and therefore he filed an A summary report before the Chief Judicial Magistrate, which means that events are true but crime is undetected. That was the report and opinion of the investigating officer after carrying out the investigation, and he submitted this report on 16th of April 2019, which came to be accepted by the court. The matter was put to rest. Subsequent to that report, the company of Arnab Goswami also wrote and communicated to the victim's wife, the Anvay Nayak's wife, saying that we want to settle this dispute and we are ready to pay you 39 lakh rupees, provided you give us an indemnity against future claims, so that you will not claim in future or you will not initiate any other action. We are ready to pay you 39 lakhs. But which the deceased wife did not accept, and matter rested there. But thereafter, what happened is a series of events in 2020, as you are aware, that on 16th of April 2020, there was a broadcast by Republic TV for an incident that took place in Palgad of lynching of two sadhus in presence of police and some forest guard personnel. And there was a huge uproar created, and the Arnab Goswami had put his opinions clear cut in the news and media, which were not suitable or were not liked by the Maharashtra government. And therefore, an FIR and several cases in different states were registered against Arnab Goswami and his TV channel. which again led to litigations which reached till the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court quashed all other FIRs except one, which was to be investigated. Thereafter, on 9th of September 2022, employees of Republic TV were arrested for some house trespass by the state government. Shiv Cable Sena, which is also a part of Shiv Sena, they issued a letter to all cable operators across Maharashtra saying that you ban the telecast of Republic TV because they were obviously not liking what was being the opinions of Arnab Goswami as it was against the state government. Again, on 16th of September, a show cause notice was issued to Arnab Goswami for breach of privilege of the Legislative Assembly, again, which he approached the Supreme Court. Then on 6th of October 2020, there were FIR which was registered at Kandivali police station in relation to TRP case. Kindly see the dates are flowing as if there's some person who is trying to conspire to frame one person, that is Arnab Goswami. This is what has been mentioned in the judgment of the Supreme Court. Also on 15th of October 2020, local crime investigation branch, Raigad, communicated to CJM that we are going to further investigate with respect to the FIR under 306, which was registered by Anvay Nayak's wife. It is after 2.5 years of the commission of the suicide by Anvay Nayak. And after 1.5 years of closure report, which came to be accepted, suddenly out of grave, they they rise and they say we want to further investigate. Now, there's no basis for further investigation, neither there is any reason for further investigation except that they want to target one person. On 4th of pursuant to this further investigation on 1510, on 4th of November, Arnab is arrested from his residence at 7:45 a.m. He is not issued any notice or he is not called upon to give any answer as which is required under the law. And he is arrested without any substantial reason. And he's sent to judicial custody by the magistrate on production on the next date by the police. In pursuance to his illegal arrest, he files a petition before the Bombay High Court for the issuance of writ of habeas corpus and also for quashing of this further investigation and for releasing him on bail. The High Court hears the matter for 3 days, and ultimately on 9th of November, it says that he has an alternative remedy to approach the concerned court for regular bail, and therefore they are ready to hear his quashing petition, but they were not inclined to release him on bail. In pursuance to that order, the High Court gave him liberty to file regular bail before the concerned district court, and which was to be decided by the district court in 4 days. But the High Court did not grant him bail. So against which he challenged that decision before the Supreme Court. And Supreme Court heard the matter on 11th of November and released him on bail, saying that exceptional circumstances are made out which warrant us to grant personal liberty to Arnab Goswami and he should be released on bail. And yesterday, the reasons and why it has interfered were released by the Supreme Court. And this is what the Supreme Court says that uh, this amounts to a targeting of an individual because of his opinions on his news channel. And the High Court has failed to decide even prima facie that whether any offense of abatement of suicide was made or it appeared that there was an offense of abatement of suicide because that was the first thing what the High Court had to do. And if it felt that there was no offense made out in the FIR, then the High Court should have exercised its power and granted bail to the accused person, and his liberty should not have been denied or deprived in this manner. And therefore, the Supreme Court passed some scathing remarks that High Court abdicated and failed to carry out its duty, did not uphold the personal liberty of the person, and therefore the Supreme Court intervened and reminded all the courts of the country by quoting Lord Denning, is a famous jurist and a judge of England court, and quoting him, they said, and I quote Lord Denning, that whenever one of the judges takes seat, there is one application which, by long tradition, has priority over all others. The council has but to say, My lord, I have an application which concerns the liberty of the subject, and forthwith the judge will put all other matters aside and hear it. That is what the long tradition has been in England and also in India. That whenever any matter concerning liberty is there, it is only to be said that this concerns liberty, and the court has to take that matter and leave all other matters aside. So all other matters can wait. Liberty matter regarding liberty of an individual has top priority, and that has to be taken up. And this is what the Supreme Court has asked all other courts, the district court, high court, to take this seriously and decide all bail applications or matters pertaining to liberty urgently, expeditiously, and decide it in accordance with. These are the salient features of this judgment, and I congratulate the Supreme Court for delivering such a wonderful judgment, upholding the personal liberty of citizens, and also reminding all other courts to do the same. Certainly, it's a very, very important judgment.
Jeet, thank you very much for summarizing the entire incident and very elaborately building the ground for this discussion. As a layman, I would feel that I'm talking about a layman who's informed or who's following this news, but may not know the nuances related to legal matters. So, as a layman, the first thing that comes to mind is the suicide of the contractor itself, Mr. Nayak, because it looks like that the mother was also dead before he died, and she died in the ground floor room, and he was found hanging in the first floor room. So I think the police has to first investigate whether suicide or not. What are the circumstances of these two deaths? Whether it is murder or it's a suicide, or the mother was murdered first because she was sitting on a sofa dead, strangulated. So and no human can strangulate himself by sitting on the sofa. So I think that is the first thing that they need to investigate. And you know, after hearing you, I have only one expression, which is thank God our liberty is saved by Supreme Court. Because if it happens to such a popular person like Arnab Goswami, it can happen to everyone in India. So I think the matter which requires a discussion is, I think this is very well made out now that there was a duress against this person, this individual called Arnab Goswami and his business. And it was very systematically done. It almost appeared to a layman as if a mafia is at work. Because
Right.
one side you're taking him out from the picture, putting him in jail, and second side he's not getting bail, his liberty is curtailed, and the third is his colleagues are being harassed. In fact, one of his colleagues is still in the jail for last 20 days for some trivial issue. So if this continues in a country like India, which which has a constitution based on liberty and equality, I think this is very serious matter. What do you have to say about this, Jeet?
Yes, absolutely. You have discussed some very important issues. Certainly, this amounts to state access, and it is not just in this case, but yesterday another landmark judgment is also delivered in Kangana Ranaut's matter, wherein her residence was demolished by the corporation, and wherein the High Court has also held that this was malice at the state's hand. And this certainly is extremely serious issues because state is targeting people and those who are not having the same opinion as it does as the state has. This amounts to state access. It amounts to an autocratic government being run, and therefore the Supreme Court and the High Courts have to come down heavily and arrest, um, uphold the liberty and personal privacy of individuals. Otherwise, the state is going to curtail and make every attempt. And as you said, that in Arnab Goswami's case, there was a series of events, which led to the Supreme Court believe that he was being targeted. So absolutely serious. And also with regards to what you mentioned in Anvay Nayak's case, that his mother was found first dead, and on the first he was found strangulated. So, he also wrote a suicide note wherein he mentioned this, and Anvay's wife recognized that suicide note and also recognized his signature and his handwriting. So, therefore, the murder angle, the investigating officer has to decide whether there is some angle found out or not. But possibly it doesn't appear because the investigation that was carried out ultimately led to the only conclusion that it was a suicide and there was no murder. So the only thing is whether it was an abatement to suicide, an offense which was committed by Arnab Goswami and those two other entities who did not pay the amount to the company of the deceased. This was the issue which the High Court had to decide, and the High Court failed to decide that whether the offense under 306 was because for abatement to suicide certainly is an the serious offense wherein imprisonment is up to 10 years. But there has to be a direct or indirect incitement to the commission of suicide by the deceased. So there has to be some incitement, direct or indirect. There has to be some active role of the accused in instigating or making the person do that act of committing suicide. For example, if there is an employer, there's a driver who is continuously harassed by his employer saying, "I will not pay you this amount," or "I will not." But such harassment will not constitute an offense if he ultimately commits suicide and says that my employer was harassing me. But suppose a wife is continuously harassed by husband and in-laws for a long period of time, and the harassment is of such a nature that would drive a woman to commit suicide, of the cruelties of such a nature, continuous events, and also if there are illegal demands, and if the wife ultimately commits suicide, then certainly then such instances can be said to be an abatement of suicide because there is instigation, there is cruelty, there is direct incitement that leads to a person to commit suicide. But any other trivial harassment, and if somebody takes his own life, then that would also mean that there is the pressure which the person could not take, and suicide itself means self taking his own life. So that means he has taken a decision to end his life because he doesn't see any other hope and he has failed. This issue should be taken up as a mental health issue rather than as an offense. If incitement and active instigation is there of a serious nature, continuous, and for a long period of time, then only it can be constituted as an offense of abatement to suicide. Otherwise, every person committing suicide cannot name and blame others because they could not handle the pressure that was. So this is a mental health serious issue which should be considered in that line rather than considering it as an offense. And this is a serious issue because, as you are aware, India today there are around 6 to 7 million people committing suicide every year. Certainly, mental health is a serious concern. But apart from that, in this case, in Arnab Goswami's case, the Supreme Court prima facie holds that the allegations leveled did not constitute an offense under 306, and it cannot be said that Arnab Goswami abated the suicide of Anvay Nayak.
Thank you very much for explaining this in detail because I think that is the nub of the whole incident which started, which triggered this arrest. And you also mentioned Kangana. I think we will talk separately because I think that is even a larger subject. But as a layman, I just have one comment on that one is right from the childhood, I've seen that if you erect a illegal house in India, um, especially coming from Delhi, there used to be a lot of people, refugees coming from Bangladesh, setting up their villages near the Yamuna River, and they were called Juggi. And gradually they became Juggi Jopuri Colony. And in short, it was called JJ Colony. It looks very stylish.
Right,
So,
correct.
JJ Colony. I am sure none of the governments in the past, right from 80s, 90s, and so on, they had even demolished one illegal construction like that. And it looked like a very, very aggressive stand by the Maharashtra BMC, where they gave a notice and within 1 hour they demolished the entire Bangalore or office of Kanna. I think that is the reality, and I think every citizen in India understand that it is happening under duress. But we will discuss that separately, Jeet.
Absolutely. But I would also like to say with regards to Juggi Jopris also, we can have a discussion. Because if Juggi Jopris are standing today, that is also because of the intervention of the constitutional courts like the High Court and the Supreme. They have recognized that the right to have a roof is a right to have a life. Because without roof, there is no life. and therefore right to shelter is a part to right to life and liberty, which is guaranteed under the constitution, and the state should endeavor to grant and to at least attempt that right every individual has of having a decent living atmosphere. Therefore, Supreme Court has in a several landmark decisions laid down this important right to be a fundamental right to shelter.
So now, coming back to Arnab Goswami's case, you see, when we deal with a government servant, whether you are in a police or administration or any other government service, you actually give an oath that you will work for the country, and it's a written. And if you're a gazetted officer, you are under oath on a gazette which is owned by President of India. So usually, what I've seen is the government officers don't do anything illegal. I mean, if they want to do something illegal, they will not. They will circumvent in such a way that the things are not on their head. Somebody else will get caught in the end because they have complete knowledge because they are all government officers. In this case, it looks like, correct me if I'm wrong, that people took it on themselves to go against Goswami and taking all the risk, and in certain cases violating the law also. So, do you think my understanding is correct, or it's just my feeling?
It appears to be targeting, and that therefore it appears to be state excess, exceeding its limits and powers, and targeting someone. So, in a way, you are absolutely right that this amounts to targeting somebody, and it is a state excess. It is abuse of the powers granted on.
So that brings to my last question, Jeet. Since people have taken the law in their own hand, is there a sort of a punishment?
Uh, well, uh, uh, if there's an abuse of the process, then certainly departmental actions can be taken against erring officers. But that is again for the government to decide that what they are, to what extent they want to do that. But certainly, if any officer exceeds its power and jurisdiction, then that would call for departmental procedure.
Okay, so I think this is a discussion about what ramification Arnav Goswami has. I'm sure he has good advice available. I'm sure he has. He's a very resourceful person, and I'm sure he will take his next action. We will come to know if we follow his case. We will come to know about it. Any last word you have on this date before we close our session today?
I think Supreme Court is absolutely a savior and has come down heavily and has upheld the liberty of individuals and its citizens. I think we must congratulate the role played by the Supreme and reminding all other courts of its duty and how it must preserve and protect the liberty of its citizens.
So thank you very much for finding time for today's session, Jeet. And we really appreciate your advice and thanks for clearing it up for the viewers of our show. And we will catch up next week, maybe discuss about some other legal matters.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure, Chandra.
Thank you and bye-bye.